everyone, and welcome to the PA Forum podcast. Today, I am delighted to be joined by our very special guest, Mel Bates, Director of Elite Virtual Assistant Limited, and we'll come back to that limited a little bit later on. Mel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. How are you?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Questioning my life choices.
Bless you. I think before we kick off today, I would love for our viewers or listeners to be able to get to know the Mel Bates.
Yeah.
So what I'd love to do, particularly around this podcast, is for us to be able to spend the first 2 minutes at least finding out a little bit more about our special guests that are joining us. So Mel, tell us a little bit about you. We'd love to hear about your background, your family life, your hobbies, your sports. Where's your favourite place to go on holiday? Tell us a little bit about you.
We've just come back from New York. We went for Christmas.
Amazing.
So that was pretty epic with the kids, very magical. So that's probably our favourite place. We got engaged there. We've spent a lot of holidays there. So that's probably my favourite place in the world, although the Maldives close second, the polar opposites.
It must have been freezing in New York.
It was cold, thermals. It was very attractive.
Magical,
it was
though.
Magical, yeah. They say it's Christmassy and they're not lying.
Yeah.
So, husband, 3 kids, married for coming up for 12 years. We've been together for like nearly 20.
Amazing.
So his name's Tom, in amongst many other things. And then kids, Jamie, 21, Brooke, 10, and Grayson, 4. So, I realised when I turned 40 in 2024 that I have, across 3 decades, I have kids.
That's amazing.
Which is, it's amazing, but equally, makes me feel really old.
But I think actually juggling, obviously we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but juggling being a career EA and effectively having a child, building a career, having a child, building a career, having a child and building a career, that must have been something that's been quite obviously amazing in your life, but also probably quite difficult and challenging at the same time from a career point of view sometimes. But we can talk about that a little bit later on. But very much a hockey lover. The family are hockey lovers, aren't they?
We are. Well, that's how me and Tom met. So we met playing hockey.
Love that.
We played at the same club, and then he moved clubs, and I've just moved a couple of years ago to his club now.
Does one club do better than the other club?
My club, obviously, whichever club I'm at,
are you naturally competitive?
Massively competitive family. We struggle with board games.
Does Jamie play hockey?
Jamie plays. He's on a bit of a break at the moment, living life as a 21-year-old does. Brooke plays, and Grayson's about to start playing.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah. So they follow us around wherever we are each
And did
weekend.
your family play?
My mum played, my brother plays, my niece and nephew play. My nephew's actually in one of the under-18 England teams, so yeah.
Wow.
And then Tom's dad played.
That's
so
amazing.
We're a proper hockey family.
I was just imagining Christmas Day and it's a hockey match.
No, we're all too competitive. Someone getting injured.
Oh, bless you. No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that as well. I'm really grateful. So when you were, I don't know whether, for those of you that are watching or listening, Mel and I actually went to school together. We went to primary school together. She had a different surname there. It was a maiden name.
It was,
And we met. Actually, we reconnected at one of our PA Forum events. Yeah. But when you were at school, what did you want to be?
2 things. When I was about 12, I wanted to be a lawyer.
What type of law?
Disputes, litigation, argumentative.
What made you want to do that?
I have no idea. I was in an English lesson one day and we did it was almost like a debate, and we kind of had like a fake kind of barrister lawyer kind of scenario. And I was one of them, and I really enjoyed the debating and the sort of argument.
Wow.
So
did you take that home with you that night? Your mum and dad were like, oh my God, what's she learned at school today?
No, they were like, oh God, here she goes. Very fitting, yeah. So, but then I hit about 14, and obviously the age of a girl, fashion and all of that, era of the Spice Girls, and I wanted to go into fashion. I took textiles.
So you were inspired by the Spice Girls?
Yeah, I was a Spice Girl lover.
Which one?
That's a bit hard. I've got I love a bit of scary spice. I mean, I am a Mel B now, so.
Oh, are you? Yeah. One of my best friends is posh, and I'm not allowed to say anything bad about Posh Spice at all. Oh my god! But when you left school to pursue art, fashion.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I did not enjoy college at all.
No.
No, it wasn't for me. I completed the first year and then left.
I was going to say, did you stick it? I didn't stick it out either.
I stuck it out a year and then I left, and I went into employment. So I worked 2 jobs. I worked a restaurant in the evening. I worked an office job during the day. Partied like in between those 2 hours. So yeah, it was yeah.
What was your first office job like? Can you remember?
I worked in a warehouse.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it data entry?
No, I was admin, logistics. So it was a tile company. They're still there now in Tyseley, and I managed all the logistics from Spain, Italy, bringing all the tiles in, and then obviously the distribution within the UK and sales and stuff. So yeah, it was that was my first job. But I always lived in the warehouse, and sitting on the forklift truck. So, yeah.
Of course, she has a license. Everyone, she does. But no, from there then. So if you don't mind, kind of sharing, I guess the employed part of your career.
Yeah.
How did that kind of journey progress?
One of my mum's hockey mates was a solicitor. And at the time she was chatting to her and said, why doesn't Mel train as a legal secretary? So I actually left my first job, went into my first role as an office junior, old school office junior, in a small high street law firm. And I did about 5 months as an office junior. Think I managed to show them what I was sort of capable of, and went up to become a legal secretary. Did some courses, became a qualified legal secretary as you did back then. And then, just progressed from there, moved over to HSBC in their legal department, then went back into a law firm, personal injury.
How did you feel about the kind of small boutique family law environments compared to like the big, going into these kind of big, massive organisations?
I think in my early days, apart from HSBC, I worked in much smaller firms. So I was only used to smaller firms. It was only when I then progressed and in about 2011, 2012, and went across to what was Rags and went into my first big corporate law firm. And I think after that, I didn't really want to go back to small high street firm. I think I loved the corporate law and going into.
Did you like? Did you like the structure? Did you feel like it was more? It was quite structured, and there was.
I love the structure, the access to the bigger clients, the bigger cases, the more interesting cases, but also the sort of hospitality side as well, and the access to, like, we ran a massive event with one client, with one partner that I worked for. We ran a big event that was down in London, and I just got exposure to so many new things that I think in a smaller firm I necessarily wouldn't have done. So
that's. Would you say working within a firm like that, though, in terms of like career and progressing your career, did you feel that there was next steps for you to go to, or did you feel you kind of were hitting a ceiling at some points?
I think it depends what direction you want to go in. When I left Rags and went to Hill Hofstetter, who then merged with Field Fisher, and when I came back from maternity leave, while I was at Field Fisher, we just merged. So I came back from maternity leave into a merged business.
Wow.
So it was completely new, but also the transition for everybody. But from that, actually, that gave me a next step up, because I then got a promotion to become the lead PA in that firm.
How did you feel, though, coming back from maternity leave and coming into something, because that's not easy?
No.
How did you feel? Do you think because they were going through a merger, actually that helped, or was it really hard?
I think bizarrely, coming back from mat leave anyway, I was full-time before I'd gone on mat leave, and then when I came back I went part-time. So it was going to be a change anyway. So actually for me it probably wasn't quite so bad, especially for the people that were there. But I was still going back into the same team, fortunately, working for the same fee earners that I worked for, that I loved working for. So I think the fact that I had that consistency with the people I was working with made it easier. But when you're transitioning and you've got to then start working the way another firm does and taking on all their processes and systems and so on, it is you've got to adapt, you've got to change, and go with it to a degree.
So I think the first time we met, I was working at Resorts World and we'd launched the Birmingham PA Awards.
Yeah.
And you were a manager then, weren't you, at Field Fisher?
Yeah.
So you managed a team of secretaries and PAs.
Yeah, started with about 9, and then over the time
just
that
9.
I was there, just 9. But by the time I left the role, I think we were at about 21, 22.
And was that, when you had that role, was that did you still have partners and executives that you were supporting as well as managing the
when
team?
I first started the role, I did it part-time, so I was 3 days a week. I still worked for fee earners, and I ran the lead, the PA team as well. So yeah, it was a very big juggling act. There were days where the days off, if I had members off ill, I was still checking emails. I'd be online on my days off with my daughter. And as she got older and more aware, there was the mummy, put your laptop away kind of scenario. Yeah. So I think you say you're part-time, but when you're in that kind of role, you can't just switch off.
I remember people used to say to me, there were some law firms that used to have like beds and bunk beds in their offices for like some of the law, and I was like, oh my God, does that actually happen? Yeah,
more corporate law,
That's just crazy. I just have never ever been. I can't imagine walking into somebody's office and like, oh, well, this is the bunk bed room, and it's like, oh, okay, oh my God.
There's a change of clothes in the drawer.
Wow, that's just insane. So I think when we met that time at Resorts World, was that the first time you'd ever heard about like the PA Forum?
No, I think I came to one of the joint PA Guide PA Forum events. So the sort of social networking, with Una. Yeah. And I can't remember quite which one it was.
When you saw that those two PA Guide and PA Forum at the same time were out there, was it just like, had you ever had anything like that before? Was there anything in the legal sector that was like that? Was there anything?
That's what I was looking for. So I'd found that within the business support sort of profession, there was, when I became the lead PA, it's quite a lonely role because, especially in the office I was the only lead PA, whereas in our London office there was multiple. Yeah. So my only equivalents that I could talk to about things were either my line manager or the ones in London. And so I felt quite lonely to a degree. And especially transitioning from working alongside lots of my team members to then managing them, there were struggles with that in itself. But I think what I was looking for, and I just Googled it, and just networks like Birmingham PA and PA Forum and PA Guide came up, and then I just signed up to whatever was available because I was like, I just need to go out and meet people. And I remember someone in the office when I said, I'm going to a networking event in Birmingham, and trying to encourage some of my team members to join me, and which over time they did. And I loved that we'd go to events and they'd start actually really engaging. But I remember hearing a lawyer when one of my team asked to go to an event, and they were like, why do PAs need to network? Yeah. And at that point I was like, this has got to change. Like this is the problem with thinking that we just sit behind a desk and follow the exact instructions that we're given, because we're so much more than that. And that's what I tried to then push. That's why then when you launch the awards, when the first conference, I got a sign off and budget for my team to go.
Did you have to really push for that though? Was it quite, because I think at that time it was still quite relatively new. So that kind of mentality that you had from that lawyer,
was perfectly normal,
for example, is still what we have till this very day. And it's such a shame sometimes, I think, in our profession that even after 10 years of having this community, and even though there's 52 PA networks across the whole of the UK, and even though there is so much activity all over the place, that there is still some businesses that do not see the value of their PAs networking, meeting new contacts, getting to know each other. And I can honestly say, I would not be sat here now having a community of the PA Forum if I hadn't have gone out networking, and we wouldn't have met each other if we hadn't been out there networking. And when we come on and talk about Elite EA and how important that is, you know, for you, networking is an essential part of what you do.
Yeah, it is. But also, whenever your clients then go, oh, I mean, obviously talking from the business element, but also the employed element, if you're fee earners or your partners or as a business owner, your clients go, I need something. You've almost got that black book in your own head, but also you know another PA who might know somebody. Or to be honest, most of the time I come to you and go, I need somebody in this. And without that, actually, I wouldn't have done a lot of what I've done and been able to provide service, both in employed and my self-employed role. I wouldn't have been able to achieve quite what I've done without that, but also learn from other PAs.
If someone was listening to this today and they were saying, you know, I've seen the PA forum, I've seen, you know, the Strategic PA Network or the Manchester PA Network or any of those networks, and I sit here thinking, oh, I've seen all these events, I'd love to go. What advice would you give them if they were how did you feel when you first went to your first event?
I went on my own. So I was one of those people that didn't go with a group of my team members. I went on my own and I was so scared. I was so nervous, like the proper sweats. It was, walking into a room full of people you don't know, especially when other groups of people from businesses go and they kind of, everyone stands there all nervous and, you know, but I think the one thing you've got to do is really just push yourself to go and just go and talk to somebody. And do you know what? Some people are not in any network, and I mean I network outside of PAs and VAs and the business support community now. You will always meet people who kind of just shut you down and aren't interested in a conversation.
Yeah, we know those well, don't
yes,
we sometimes?
We always meet those. Do you know what? Don't just ignore those and let them go, because they're the ones that, quite frankly, probably shouldn't be there in the first place, because why are you there if you don't want to have a conversation? But I think there's so many people there that want to get to know you and understand what you do. And I find with networking a lot, it isn't about, for me, it's never about sales, and it's not about what I can push out to somebody else and can I get them as a client. For me, it's always about who can I get to know, because then when I need to call on something or find out something, I know exactly who to go to.
And absolutely, and I always say the magic also happens outside the room. Yeah. Not just it's the coffees, it's the one-to-ones, the tea, you know, the lunches, the after-work glass of wine. Yeah. That's the bit. Use the event as the place to meet people. Yeah. And if you meet that one, or if you just come away from the event, you've met one person that you really connected with, take that outside of the room, get to know that person. Those people will start introducing you to people they know. And then quickly, when you walk into the next event, you've got a bit of an entourage with you.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
And the thing is, you won't like everybody that you meet at an event. I'm really sorry, you just won't. No, it's like a school playground. You really won't like everybody that you meet, and that's okay. Yeah. Make peace with that. And they won't all be your cup of tea. But do you know what? That doesn't mean that from a business sense that there isn't a benefit there. But it is about finding those people that you get on with and that you like and that you would want to work with or connect with or collaborate with, whatever that may be.
So I think the next part then of your career is kind of where I think when we've understood this before, it was probably one of the best jobs you've ever had, but then also one of the most challenging as well. It was kind of a mix of that time. Because was that through when you finished at Field Fisher? When was that?
That was 2019.
Okay, and then we kind of went into COVID, near enough going into COVID.
So I left Field Fisher. I went to work for an entrepreneur, CEO, founder. Worked for them for about 6 months, and then was approached about a role at a national law firm to work for their board. And I went for the interview and wasn't sure whether I wanted to go back into legal. And actually, I met the CEO and chairman and absolutely loved them. They reminded me of two of the guys that I worked for, the partners that I worked for at Field Fisher, who just made working such fun. Yeah. When you get those relationships, they're gold dust. And that was one of the hardest parts of moving into the lead PA role at Field Fisher, was I gave up that relationship with those partners that I worked for. So when I found that again at this law firm, I can say it's Shoesmiths, when I started working for the chairman and the CEO there, it reminded me of that relationship, and I loved working for them. Yeah. But it was the autonomy and the trust, just the appreciation of the job I was doing, but also we had banter and we had a good laugh along the way, and the conversations and the things that they opened up to me and got me involved with in different initiatives. And I think that was what I loved about, they just brought me into the business, and they almost kind of, not let me run free, but you know, they were always open to any ideas that I had and things to progress. And
was that just it was that kind of what's it called, nostalgia that you'd have from somewhere else? But actually you were working for two people that were very senior within law firm, but they had that, because of their autonomy, you also had that autonomy as well.
And in that role, I went to every leadership meeting across the business, and there wasn't one other person in the business that went to every leadership meeting. So I knew what was going on across the business and could filter and help every single. So if something was happening in a meeting, I'd speak up and say, actually, you just need to speak to such and such because that's happening. And that link and connection, I absolutely love that, having that overview of such a massive business. I
think that's one of the things that's massively underestimated in our profession, that visibility of that person that literally can see across the whole entire business, the knowledge that person has, and the way that they can help and advise and say, you know, having that knowledge can support the CEO and chairman so much, or the most, you know, the senior leader, by utilising that person that's listening to everything, can hear everything that's going on, understand how people feel, understand what's going on in a particular department.
Well, people talk to the PAs and the EAs as well. They don't always talk to the CEOs and the chairman in the same way that they would a PA and an EA, because the confidentiality and the trust that people give a PA and an EA, but also just that there's just a personableness to who we are most of the time, and I think that in itself is so unique that a lot of CEOs, founders, chairmen, they don't necessarily have that. They also don't have the time in the nicest possible way to always get into the nitty-gritty with people and have those conversations.
But you, when you left that role, which is a role you loved, you actually went for another role that had a completely different title, didn't you?
I did. So I went to work back for an entrepreneur, and they approached me about the role. I'd worked for them before. It sounded like just an incredible role, and I talked to the CEO and chairman about it at Shoe Smiths, and they fully supported me, and they said, this is an incredible opportunity and we understand why you want to take it. They talked about matching things and doing what they could, but they couldn't match the role, and for me it was that career progression. And they completely understood that, and I love the fact that they were honest with me and supported me. And that meant the world, because I left on such good terms.
100%.
So I went into an operations manager role in a manufacturing business, and that was December. So I left December 2020 and started in January 2021. Right in the height of COVID. Went in. Did all sorts of things that I didn't anticipate in my first month. There was like hit the ground running, all sorts of projects and HR things that needed doing, and
it must have been a complete shock to the system though, to go from kind of where you were, which had so much corporate structure, lots of different departments, to be an operations lead, and then suddenly you've got all of these.
Turning up in my corporate attire, and then eventually, like when I had to go down on the factory floor and stuff, I need to adjust this. Where's my? It was some very attractive outfits when I had to put my steel toe cap boots on and my hard hat and my high vis with my corporate. There was a lot of laughs on the factory floor at me. So it was an adjustment, but. An incredible team, both in terms of the office and the factory floor, and just the people you meet in such a different environment, and the learnings. It was a smaller business, so I was in on obviously all the leadership management meetings, but you're also getting involved in everything. I was learning about the actual manufacturing of the things that they did. So I was learning about the products and everything. So I just wanted to try and understand everything, because to be in a business and as the operations manager do the best that I could, I needed to understand the product and what they were doing in the first place. So it was a learning curve. But
baby Grayson.
Yes.
Baby Grayson came into this world then,
Baby
didn't
Grayson, the surprise baby. There was, we were busy laughing at everyone else during COVID having surprise pregnancies, and apparently Karma decided to bite me in the ass and say, here's yours. So, as everyone joked.
all that time we had.
All that time we had, we know what you were doing. I was like, oh, God.
Absolutely.
So, yes, Baby Grayson, bless his soul, he is It was a tough time. I found out I was expecting a complete surprise. We were just about to go away. It was Easter 2021, and I'd been 3 months in the role, was doing a great job. Like the management team were really happy. My team was growing. I'd taken on more. I was doing so well. And then obviously finding out I was pregnant unexpected was a massive shock. And I remember the morning I sort of sat there and thought, oh, something's not right.
Yeah.
Something's not arrived yet. So I took a pregnancy test, and I sat on the floor for an hour crying. And then I put it in a drawer, carried on packing for this. We were going to Devon for a week with Tom and my 2 other kids. And I hid the pregnancy test in a drawer for another hour. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. So I just carried on packing. Tom was like, "You're all right?" And I went, "No, I need to tell you something." He was like, "What?" And I just showed him the pregnancy test. And bizarrely, I was always open to having more kids. Tom was sort of like, "No, I'm happy with the 2 we've got. I love my kids, love my family." He was chuffed to bits and I was crying. We were the polar opposites of what we thought we'd be.
Yeah.
But I think part for me was where I'd got to in my career, and it was not where I was thinking my life was going.
Yeah.
So
it's
for
a shock.
me, it was a shock. I wasn't expecting another child. The impact as a woman on your career again, like I've had it and had to rebuild almost every time and keep pushing. And it was that I'm full-time, I've got to go back to part-time again. But can I do the job that I'm doing now part-time? Probably not. But do I want to be a mum again to a young one full-time? No, not really.
And also the balance of ages as well, because Jamie was like late teens.
He was 17 when Grayson
17,
was born,
and then Brooke would have been...
she was 6.
So she would have been starting her journey at school.
Yeah, she just
stuff.
started. It was a mad time. And then, I mean, to make as if the sort of struggle of trying to balance where my own head was at with finding out I was pregnant. I mean, the kids were great. Brooke was just beyond excitement because she was like, I'm going to have a baby.
She's got the buggy ready.
I'm going to have a baby brother or sister.
Yeah.
Jamie, we just started looking at having a dog. So when we told him, his first comment was, so we're not getting a dog, are we?
Okay.
I was like, no, I'm sorry. No, I can't juggle both.
You get a baby brother instead.
He was really chuffed. But like Tom and the kids were incredible, so supportive. But unfortunately, I told the business I was in at the time, I told them really early. I got back from holiday and I told them the week I got back. So I was only a couple of months pregnant, I think, at this point. So it was really early. And I told them. Maybe some people say that's a stupid thing to do, but I'm honest, I'm just upfront. Like, I was going through all sorts of hormonal changes and also struggles of what everything for me was going to look like. And rather than the supportive kind of conversations and support I was expecting from that business and from those people, it went the polar opposite way, and all of a sudden I wasn't doing the job that I was supposed to be doing. I was given targets and projects without parameters and expected to achieve things. And when I asked for what are the parameters, what's the budget, what's this, what's that I wasn't given any. But then I was berated for not meeting targets, that I wasn't given the outcome, like what is the initial, like it was just, it was
felt
horrific.
Like you were just kind of like out there on your own, trying to kind of just get the water out the boat, and nothing was just more coming in.
No,
and just no
and
support.
it was the bit of talking behind your back. It was the things that were going on. Then I was taken out of management meetings, and I wasn't attending those anymore, and everything shifted like that. And I was just like, how has this happened? And I can't understand it, because I was doing really well. So the fact that I've just told you I'm pregnant, that's not a coincidence. I was so stressed and I was in a mess, and Tom just got to the point, he was like, you just need to leave. You need to just quit, leave, like you're going to lose the baby. I was that stressed at this point, it was really bad. And And the midwife was like, you just need to be really careful. And so, yeah, I upped and left.
And brave, very brave, because obviously, like you said, your hormones are all over the place.
Yeah.
You've just gone through that journey of acceptance and thinking, you know, we're going to have another child now. This is amazing. And then you've had to deal with all of that.
Yeah.
And then you've taken a really big decision to step out of there. But then also you've had to manage your pregnancy, have Grayson, then decide, obviously, after the beautiful boys come into the world, what is it you want to do next?
Well, I left that company and I had no idea. And fortunately, a wonderful contact in recruitment got me a temp job, and I did that until I went on mat leave. And they were wonderful to work for. They really sort of nurtured and looked after me in those last few months where it had been a rough time, and they knew. And I left that, and it was the weirdest thing because every other pregnancy I've had a job to go back to. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I couldn't go back into doing what I wanted to do part-time because I knew I wanted to be part-time. I've not become a mum, and I know some people work full-time and fair play to them, but for me as a parent, I want to be there for my kids. And my husband Tom just said to me, well, look, we're okay. We made some harsh financial decisions. We sold one of our cars, so we just managed on one car for about 2 years, so that we got rid of things. We made some really harsh financial decisions that meant that the pressure wasn't on me to go back to something that wasn't right for the family. Yeah. So we put the family first, and he said, you just need to do what you want to do. And when I'd first thought about leaving the company, I thought about becoming a virtual assistant, and then I just put it back to my back of my mind. I need to just go on mat leave, enjoy my mat leave, enjoy the fact that this is my last child. It will be my last child. I've sort of just put it on the back burner. And obviously I was on awards committee with the PA forum. So I did that. Baby Grayson came to the setup for the PA Awards 2022. And then we obviously started sort of having conversations. You asked me what's next, and you said, have you thought about becoming a VA? And I said, well, I have, but it's just a scary thought because I've always been employed. I'm not a risk taker. I don't see myself as a business owner. Like, I see the CEOs and founders and people that I've worked for and that I know. I haven't got that brain.
Well, that's what you thought at that time.
At that time, yeah. Especially after the confidence knock of that business as well. Like that, I think I questioned everything. I questioned.
Of course you would, yeah.
Am I actually rubbish at what I do? Like you start then going, maybe I'm just rubbish and maybe I can't do this. Especially when you're post-baby brain, like Jesus. And so you obviously said to me, what about being a VA? And I thought, oh, okay. Maybe I do it because it'll give me the flexibility. And to be honest, I actually didn't look into it that much. No. You went, do you want to do it for 3 months, like the back end of your mat leave, and see what you think?
Let's see what happens. Let's come into this world together and see what really happens.
Elite EA was born. I sat there for a weekend and kind of put together my logo and found my name, my business name, and
you built your own website.
I built my own website and sort of did all those base things, and then thought, okay, this is. I've really enjoyed doing all of that, and then started thinking about what my values were and the clients that I want to work for, and initially you kind of work for whoever no offence.
No, that's all right.
you take clients because you have to build your business, you have to build an income, and for me, I had no income. I wasn't doing it alongside another job like some people do. Fortunately, like I said, we made tough financial decisions. Tom said, if you're ever going to do it, now is the time to do it. Yeah. Because if you go back into employed, you're not going to give up that salary to then do this. So he said, now's the time.
So I think for you, actually, I think we've talked about this before, is you've actually built a business around the life that you want to have, which is amazing. Having Grayson, having a family. Yeah. Being able to do all the things, going to America when you want, you know, you don't have to take holiday. You can make all those decisions. You don't have to you can't take that day off because somebody else in a different department's got another day off. You can take, you can go to whatever appointments you need to whenever you want to, and you are in charge of your own kind of destiny, really.
And I think for me, that was one of the things after a couple of the professional employed experiences that I'd had, was I wanted to control my own business, who I work for.
But you've also had some challenges, haven't you, with on that journey?
Oh yeah, there's always client challenges. None with you, obviously.
I mean, I wasn't, you know.
You were the perfect. In fairness, you were the perfect first client. Like,
Were.
were.
No, I'm joking. No, that's fine.
My longest standing client.
Thank you.
So yeah,
I literally like I love it, and I absolutely love working with you, and I think to see your journey and how you've kind of, you know, kiss some frogs along the way, if that's how we can say it. Sorry, Tom. But if you know, there has been some clients that have been really challenging.
Oh God, yeah.
But your resilience and how you've dealt with it, I think, is absolutely brilliant.
I think that especially the most recent tough experience for me taught me a lot about, do you know what, if something doesn't fit or it's not right or there's red flags, I'm not feeling it, stand by my gut now.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing for me was my second client, it was great. Like it was the work that I enjoyed, and I was learning new things along the way, but red flags started hitting and things started happening that what I didn't agree with, and I pulled from that client because I just said, you're not the right fit for me. You don't match my values. We don't align, and I stepped away from them. And then I spent, I think, 3 months working hard to try and find my next client. So, yeah, that first year in business, and I was doing it with. Grayson wasn't in nursery all the time, so he was at home with me as a 1-year-old. So I was building it alongside him and trying to juggle that and finding my own way. And being a VA is quite lonely at times as well because you haven't got colleagues or business partners.
I think to find the strength and the confidence to be able to sack the client, as we call it, sack the client, is especially after what you've been through just before you had Grayson. Do you think because you've been through something and like that gave you the strength to actually hold your ground and be like, no,
Definitely.
actually to challenge it? Because the hardest thing is to know the balance between I need this client and I need this income, and actually I'm not enjoying this whatsoever, and why am I putting myself through this?
Yeah. When that, I think for me, and I've had it a couple of times when I've parted from clients, when you get, and a lot of VAs, we talk about it, the ick feeling. If you get that ick feeling, you see and for me, it was when I see their name come up on my phone or I see an email come in and you get that, for me, that's the moment where I go, no, it's not the right client anymore. And parting with the clients that have has been the right decision for me. It might not have been right for them, but for me, it's been the right decision because I've made the conscious decision to have a business that is on my terms and work for the people that I want to work for. And I think that is one of the strongest things that for any VA, ride the rough times where maybe you feel like you just need to take anything and everything, but don't, because you're worth more than that. And I think that's the thing I've learned is that I'm worth more than that, and I'm not going to be treated, quite frankly, like shit because I don't agree with that.
And I think just what you were saying about it's quite lonely.
Yeah.
You have to protect your mental well-being because if you're working with a client that is just dragging you down and making you question yourself and making you question the decisions that you're making and actually looking back and double checking a lot of the stuff that you do, thinking, is that actually right? That's not good for you. And again, it's that decision of I need to protect my well-being here. And
I think that's the same for anybody in a employed or a VA role. Like, you've got to make sure that you just stand up for yourself. It doesn't. As much as your company might have values, you've also got your own. Yeah. So for me, that's the important thing is that I stick by my values now very, very much. Yeah. And if the clients don't meet that, then I move on from that.
Well, let's talk about your what's been your career highlight as a virtual assistant.
As a virtual assistant, I mean, it has to be obviously winning Solo VA of the Year
Woo!
at the UK VA Awards last year. I mean, I wasn't expecting it at all because the other VAs in the category were amazing. So I was sat there like ready to like whoop somebody else, and then they called my name, and then I thought, oh no, I've got to get on stage. And don't fall. That was my own telling myself, don't fall over when you get on stage, because I would do that. So yeah, that was my 100% my career high. I think it was that. It was almost like the acknowledgement that I've succeeded and I'm doing well, and quite frankly, at times it's also like a middle finger to all the people who have brought you down along the way, and the people that have questioned you or quite frankly, also the company that obviously when I was pregnant, like it was a massive middle finger to them for me to go, do you know what? Yeah, I am freaking good. And
and also what I admire is you were a finalist the year before.
Yeah.
And you still, you know, there are some people we know with our awards, if they've been nominated and they don't win, they're like, that's it, that's the end. And well, I don't believe that. I don't think it's
not that simple.
As an opportunity to think, do you know what? That first year, I knew kind of who I was in the category with, who I should surround myself with, who I want to learn from, but come back and think, do you know what? 12 months is a long time.
It's a long time.
So much can change.
I mean, I was sat next to you at that first year, and actually it dawned on me when they were calling out the finalists that I'd have to go on stage if I won. So when they didn't call my name, there was like a degree of relief. I just went, oh, thank God, because I haven't got to go on stage. It's my worst nightmare. But actually, that year in between, I wasn't ready at that point to win, and I'm glad I did the process because I learned from it and I reflected on what I could do, and I looked at the people that were in the category I was in the category with, but also the person that won, and that was amazing to look at them and go, actually, do you know what? I need to do that, and I need to do that better, and I need to do this. I need to stop doing that.
A lot of those people that you know, I loved coming to the UK VA conference with you and the UK VA Awards.
Oh, it's the most supportive thing.
I loved watching you in your element, just going around networking, getting to know loads of different virtual assistants, all who are very different.
Oh yeah,
so different. But you found your community,
100%.
your network within that network, which is what I love. And those people become friends, colleagues, people that you can just, you know, have your coffees with, have a phone call with, go for a walk with, whatever, you know, catch up virtually. That is what amazing network and community is. So not taking it as competition, but collaboration.
100%. One of the VAs that I've known a few years now, met quite early on in my journey, and we've actually collaborated on a piece of work with a client because it's not something that I enjoy doing, I don't want to do. I've learnt those lessons along the way as well. Don't just take and do everything. Do the work that you want to do. And so I said to her, I've got this piece of work, it's right up your street with my client. My client loves her, she's doing a cracking job, my client's happy, I'm happy because I'm not doing it. For me, that's what it's about. I love working with different VAs because they are all different in personality, in business, like style of business, structure of business, the type of work they do. And
I bet you don't feel that I feel it as a business owner, as a consultant. With my businesses, it's lonely. But when you have a network and you have a community of people around you, it's amazing.
I was texting one last night. We were just messaging about some bits and pieces, and to have that, like, they become your friends as well.
Absolutely.
And it's such a different environment because it's not competitive. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are some that are competitive.
Oh yeah.
Inevitably. But it doesn't, like, you sit in that room and it doesn't feel like that, and it's collaborative and it's supportive.
Well,
and
that actually brings us onto nicely onto our final bit and our theme for this year, because we are last year delighted that we launched the Midlands Virtual Assistant Conference. How did you feel about that? Did you
I was really nervous how it was going to go because it was the first one, but the speakers were immense.
I mean, do you remember Dawn Owen? She literally blasted the roof off the 9
a.m. Hello, Dawn.
We had the Amanda Johnson with us.
The Amanda Johnson. You have to have the Amanda Johnson. I'm sorry. It was such an incredible day, and people still talk to me about it now that were there, and it was just wonderful to have such an incredible group of people in a room, and the ideas flowing and the connections. It was just, the vibes were just off the chart.
Well, this year we are, I mean, if you've been following us, Mel and I have spent some time together and really kind of thought about what do we want and how do we want to progress the PA Forum together with our amazing team of volunteers and all of our team that support us and our members. And we've had loads of focus groups, engagements. We've found that we've got a really good direction this year and where we want to go. So we're going to be launching the Office Pro Show, which is on the 16th of June at the National Conference Centre, the National Motorcycle Museum in Birmingham. And the day before, we're going to be having
switching everything up.
We're going to have the VA conference again. And the theme this year is
collaboration over competition.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. So we are just hopefully in the next, well, by mid-Feb, we will have the full speaker programme for the day, which would be brilliant.
Yes.
We've already reached out to the Amanda Johnson, and she will be joining us, which is amazing.
Always.
No day could start without
the legend.
Absolutely, the legend that is. And we've got some really exciting speakers to come. And we've also been really thoughtful towards the Office Pro show to make sure that those virtual assistants who want to come along and very much part of our PA Forum community can have lots of different access to loads of different exhibitors, lots of different speaking opportunities the next day.
I think it's massively important because, like, for example, this year the PA show haven't run their VA theatre. So we're hopefully making sure that VAs have their kind of, their very specific learning and development because it is obviously a different beast as business owners.
I think today has been really good because I really wanted, if you're watching this or listening, I really wanted you to get to know Mel Bates, or the Mel Bates as I call her. And I think it's been really good. Thank you for sharing your journey. And also some of the highlights and challenges that she's dealt with as well. But for me personally, I just want to say thank you so much for putting up with this because I can completely appreciate every single week, every single day is a roller coaster, and you completely tame the chaos, and you are literally my shining light. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you for putting your trust in me.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man.